Bulldogs have already clinched their 5th straight West Coast Conference title, but tonight, at home against the BYU Cougars, they look to cap off a historic undefeated season with their 30th straight win. The Kennel is rocking here in Spokane, Washington, as we welcome you inside the McCarthy Athletic Center alongside Adrian Branch. I'm Eric Rothman, and Adrian, obviously an undefeated season is on the line for the Zags, but it's already been a pretty dominant year for Coach Few and his team.
They have earned the right to be heard, especially in their consistency. When you're top 5 in the country in offensive and defensive efficiency, night in and night out, Coach Few will take it. Look at this right here, 4 straight weeks, AP #1, nation's longest streak. At home, on the road, they have been so consistent. And then when you talk about wins versus BYU, it's not easy to come by. They are deep, they are hungry, and they're playing with a sense of urgency.
16 conference championships for the Zags in their last 17 years. Coach Few has had a remarkable run here with Gonzaga, and we are ready for tip with the Zags and the home whites. It's a senior night here for Gonzaga. And BYU on the road. They have won here, Adrian, each of the last 2 years against the Zags.
That tells you that they're able to focus in on the job. They're not intimidated by an atmosphere that is extremely raucous.
Nigel Williams-Goss, the conference player of the week for the 4th time this season. Throws that one out of bounds. It will stay with the Zags, but you think he's not only the conference player of the year, Adrian, might be the player of the year in the country.
Don't stop there. Winning. He's been winning, and he knocked off the ring rush. You look at the first 8 games of the season, it was only 14 points. The last 10 games, 20 points. So he has really adapted.
There's one of those seniors, Jordan Matthews, the transfer from Cal.
They have not trailed in a game in so many periods. They start with a lead, and then they try to get after you defensively. Let's see if BYU can stay attached to this game. That's the game plan, to stay close and make them play under pressure.
Braden Shaw, number 31, getting the start for BYU. Yoli Childs, who missed their game on Thursday. We expect him to play tonight, but does not get the start, so Shaw is out there for Gonzaga. Redshirt senior walk-on Rem Bakamus gets his first start of the season in honor of his senior night, and what a way to go out, number 15, a fan favorite here in Spokane. Jonathan Williams, the skyhook.
Jonathan Williams, like Williams-Goss, had the light switch go on. The last 5 games has averaged 12 rebounds a game. He's getting everything that's coming off the glass.
Tough shot for Mika as Karnowski pushed him outside the paint. Turnover on the Zags, their first. Here comes Elijah Bryant. He had a career-high 39 points on Thursday night in the win at Portland. Missing his first field goal attempt there as we take a look at BYU coach Dave Rose, a record of 303 and 109, and his 12th straight 20th win season.
Playing with house money. BYU fans won't want to hear this, but this is a young team. If Eric Mika comes back, nobody has to go on an LDS mission next year. You're looking at a top 25 team in the nation. They're going to try to get this one down, but they're playing with house money for the rest of the season.
These two teams have met already this season, with Gonzaga pulling out the 10-point win on the road against BYU. Williams-Goss tracking down his own rebound. Williams, the offensive glass, and the finish. 3rd time's a charm on that possession.
That's what that timeout's about, to refocus this group, because look at the crowd. They're into it. It doesn't take much.
A hot start for the Zags, looking to stay undefeated. 7-0 in the opening 2 minutes and change. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch here with you in Spokane, Washington, as BYU looking for their first points of the night.
Let's see if they can get Nick Emery going.
Emery, good feed inside to Shaw. Shimmick, Karnowski, the rejection.
Good reaction by Shimmick, getting up.
And a traveling violation on Matthews on the other end.
Now this is the enthusiasm. You're still on the adrenaline. This is senior night. This is one for the road. The big fella getting up. That's a good clean block. Not known as a shot blocker. He got up on that one.
And now we have an offensive foul on BYU. Back and forth we go as Braden Shaw picks up the personal, and Mark Few, his 18th season here with the Bulldogs, and Adrian, he's 5 wins away from number 500 in his career.
And trying to make poise, keep it poised, keep the routine, manage the expectations. He's done a good job. You couldn't tell that there's so much riding on this game, on this team. He was very relaxed at shoot around.
Perkins fall down 3, not there. Nearly 3 minutes into this one, BYU still without their first point. Bryant wildly throws it up. The circus shot goes in.
That was good for them. They need to see the ball go through the hoop because, again, their game plan is to stay attached to this game. All the games in conference have been blowouts. And Coach Rose said, I want to see what they can do with us with the lead with the last 5 minutes of the game.
Gonzaga has been winning in conference at a margin of about 28 points per game, and a big reason why is the low post threat of senior Shemek Karnowski.
Well, he's shooting over 60% in conference, really 70%. Jonathan Williams, 60%, and then Zach Collins, who's their third leading scorer, only plays 17 minutes a game, is also 60%.
Eric Mika trying to go off the glass. Mika averaging nearly 20 and 10 this season. His return from his LDS mission, where he spent 2 years between his freshman and sophomore year in Italy. Has to guard Shemek Karnowski.
We're letting him play down low. I'm glad to see him let him play.
Nice feed by the 7-footer, Shemek Karnowski to Williams for the slam.
That was a broken assignment. You didn't have to double team him. Mika was playing him well. Shaw came off too early.
A lot of contact, no whistle. This refereeing crew, as Adrian just mentioned, letting these guys play down low. It's an 11-2 run to start the game for BYU.
It's a good team.
Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Perkins the steal.
Good patience. Look at the poise. Let him play one-on-one right down there.
Karnowski the turnaround.
Karnowski is dialed in offensively. There's no hitch to his offense. He's dropping that right shoulder. Now he's going to have to come out there, running up the court like a big freight train.
Perkins nails the 3 in the corner, and it's an early 16-2 lead for the Zags. Zags up 16-2, 5 minutes in.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Allstate. It's good to be in good hands.
Was going to phase the Zags. You were mistaken. 16-2 in the opening 5 minutes of play against the BYU Cougars. And right now, Adrian, we look at teams that have started 29-0 and where they have ended up finishing at the end of the season.
Yeah, the tale of the tape. You can't run and hide from that success. UNLV went to the Final Four. You look at Illinois. Remember that group that lost to North Carolina 29-0. And this group has started fast again. They're not running from it. But I remember this group. When we did our first game, it was San Francisco at 10-0. And that was the first time with Mark Few that a team as successful went 10-0 in the non-conference season. So they built it day by day, step by step.
Not only looking for 30-0 overall, looking for 18-0 in the conference. Pause. Quick curl in the corner. Rebounded by Karnowski.
Once BYU misses, Gonzaga gets the ball up with 27 seconds left on the shot clock. So you have to guard without fouling for 24 seconds with ball movement and body movement.
Corbin Kafusi, the BYU football and basketball player, in there guarding Karnowski, and that's a tough spot for him to be in.
I've never seen Shemek so focused and dialed in. We've seen him score, we've seen him assist, but I've never seen him so dialed in for this game.
Emery got tripped going into the lane. Karnowski now with 6 points, 2 rebounds. His teammate Jonathan Williams, 6 points, 4 rebounds as well.
The man mountain, 24, big body on big body, reverses and goes in. He's added that to his game. Usually he likes to go in for the jump hook. I like him because he has number 24 and he's left-handed, which is not the same size.
He's shooting 65% in conference play. That leads the league. Here's Kafusi underneath, high off the glass. Good touch by Kafusi.
Excellent drive. One of my favorite players because he's a football player and a basketball player, but you also have to attack Karnowski. It's a fair fight because you got two big guys going at it in the paint.
BYU just 2 for 11 from the floor. Gonzaga 8 for 11. Perkins no-look feed intercepted.
Going strong.
Emery with the left. Mika the offensive rebound, and he will go to the free throw line, Adrian, where he goes more than any other player in the country.
It's an amazing stat when you talk about 257 free throw attempts, first in the nation, and then almost 200 makes, which is second. When you saw that defensive possession where they created a steal and go down and get to the free throw line, they're settling into this game now.
For BYU, as Gonzaga subs in Zach Collins and Silas Nelson. BYU, we've talked about it before, but they've had so many injuries with seniors Kyle Davis and LJ Rose that they really rely so heavily on their starters because they haven't gotten hardly any production out of their bench in the last 5 games.
You're right, and Yoli Childs, who's at the scores table now, that's getting ready to start. He was forced into action because of the injury to Kyle Davis, this season injury.
Here's Collins, the freshman. Double teamed and he beat it.
You're looking at a young man coming off the bench, a McDonald's All-American, the first one in school history that came to the Zags without being a transfer, like Nigel Williams-Goss.
Kafusi.
Good move.
Good head fake. Missed the bunny. Up for grabs, and Perkins corrals it.
I like what I'm seeing from Kafusi, though. No hesitation down low, attacking the glass.
Matthews trying to shake off a couple of defenders. Now finds Williams. Good move. Comes up short on the dunk. The ball will stay with Gonzaga. That would have brought the house down.
I think they should give him a half a point just on the attempt. Going in strong, and then, oh my goodness, wow.
It's a game of inches, right?
I'd give him a point just because it looked good.
Davin Gwynn in the game now for BYU, as Williams has been stellar lately and in the early goings of this one. Matthews is fouled. Gwynn picks up his first personal after just checking in.
That's what you don't want to happen when you have to get into the game right away and can't give up easy possessions. Gwynn subbed in and lost Williams right there on the pick and roll, out of bounds. Got to settle into this. Matthews now at the free throw line.
Matthews at the line, and Adrian Gonzaga on Thursday on the road at San Diego won that game 96-38, a 58-point victory on the road. That's the largest ever by an AP #1 team.
Because of the consistency, the depth, you have 10 guys that lock in defensively. They get transition baskets. This is a complete team, and it's a consistent team.
Hawes weaving. And a corner three is good by Elijah Bryant. He went 7 for 12 from 3 on Thursday at Portland.
I was so happy for this young man. He was only shooting 28% from the three-point line, but they've been good shots, and he doesn't have anything mechanically wrong with that jumper. So I'm glad for him that he's starting to knock down that three-point shot.
Williams spinning baseline, double pumping, and he will go to the free throw line. And he has been so aggressive for Gonzaga and really gets overshadowed by Karnowski and Collins. Yet this is a guy as a transfer who any other team in the country could be the cornerstone of their team.
Yeah, that's right. Look at this 61% from the field. You don't have to run an offense for him. He's been averaging double-doubles for the last 3 games, first time in 30 days the last month. So this is a breath of fresh air when Shemek Karnowski goes to the bench. Killian Tilly as well is injured, right. 6'11" freshman, so he's answered the bell.
Eric Mika back in for BYU and getting the rebound off the Williams miss. 21-8 the score. Gonzaga on top, 8 minutes into this one. Eric Rothman and Adrian Branch here with you in the McCarthy Athletic Center. And a turnover on BYU as the Zags have had their foot on the gas, not letting up yet, up 21-8. Adrian, it's been Jonathan Williams leading the way for the Zags.
This is a young man, as we mentioned earlier, where you don't have to run the offense for him. The lefty coming in, getting started with that running jump hook in the lane. And then good hands off of the offensive rebound. The resilient, determined effort. And then this play right here, catching it and going in for the slam dunk. He has been outstanding, 60% from the field. The fifth starter averaging double figures.
A balanced scoring attack this season led by Nigel Williams-Goss and Jimmy Karnowski, Collins, and Williams, the big three down low. And don't forget senior transfer Jordan Matthews as well. As BYU finds themselves down 21-8. They have not made a field goal in over 3 minutes here at the McCarthy Athletic Center. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch in the kennel. As 29-0 Gonzaga looking to make it a perfect 30-0 regular season. Pick and roll to Williams. Hawes the rebound. Adrian, Hawes, Emery, Mika, the big three for BYU. None of them have a field goal.
Well, it's a slow start, but they're a three-point shooting team, so they can score in bunches. Remember, this is the first and second scoring teams in conference. They both score over 80 points a game.
And I know Coach Rose is happy to have this guy back in the lineup, Yoli Childs, the fantastic freshman. Missed Thursday's game with an ankle injury, didn't start tonight, but coming in quickly off the bench.
Yeah, and it's a blessing with him coming off the bench anyway, because when they were losing games, they weren't getting any bench production. But with him, he almost averages nearly a double-double, 9 points, 8 rebounds, and 56% from the field. He'll be productive with his time on the floor.
Shemik Karnowski checking back in. Jonathan Williams will take a seat for Gonzaga. Yoli Childs, the freshman out of South Jordan, Utah. Missing the free throw. We'll have a freshman battle down low between Childs and Collins.
He's got a three-guard offense, 2 point guards in Perkins and Williams-Goss, so they're always making good decisions and looking to attack.
Williams-Goss with the leader gets the roll.
Started with the shot fake, getting Bryant off balance and able to get inside the lane.
First field goal of the night for Nigel Williams-Goss, who averages 16 points on the season. And we have a foul in the paint as Hawes goes down hard. Foul will be on Silas Nelson, his first.
Hawes doesn't look, it looks like he's 20 pounds underweight, but he's in that Reggie Miller vein where he's a thin frame, but he's resilient. Moving without the basketball, he's a combination guard. They're really happy with his upside.
And the freshman, after going down hard, will take a seat on the bench. Nick Emery back in for BYU.
Ryan is effective when he gets a high screen and roll. Turns those shoulders, gets those shoulders past you, he can get in the paint.
Mika forced to fade again. This time draws the foul on Karnowski. But that's twice now that Mika has tried that move, and he just hasn't been able to get close to the rim.
Well, that's his go-to move. He stays there on the left block, turns over that right shoulder, and goes in. And we just see why he leads the nation in free throw attempts.
And Mika, a 76% free throw shooter on the season, hits the first one. Folks, Monday we've got number 8 North Carolina squaring off against number 18 Virginia. Our first game of a doubleheader. That's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Then it's Oklahoma and number 3 Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. The Jayhawks have won or shared the Big 12 regular season title an amazing 13 straight years. And Big Monday on ESPN, the app, and watch ESPN.
Shot fake again, same play.
Got Nelson open. Perkins tracking down the offensive rebound.
Excellent hustle to the long rebound. Got to win the 50-50 battle.
And the foul as Nigel Williams-Goss was cutting across the lane.
So far what Gonzaga has done, they've been able to manage the emotion on senior day. This is the last one for the upperclassmen that's heading out, but they weren't making mistakes or fouling, so they got off to a fast start, and they've guarded the three-point line of BYU, only 1 for 4.
Elijah Bryant, a foul against BYU. And Adrian, this is a jam-packed crowd, a lot of pressure, obviously, to finish off the undefeated season. Not only that, but there's just about every famous alum that went to Gonzaga in the audience today, and yet these Zags don't feel like they're playing under pressure at all.
what defense helps get them into the game, and then they don't take bad shots. It's a solid team. The leadership, Nigel Williams-Goss, makes the secret sauce special. He really is a difference maker for them.
BYU still in single digits until Eric Mika hits the fadeaway, and now Mika has 4.
Said at the 13-minute mark they started to settle in, and that's good with Mika when he's able to score, get to the free throw line.
Nelson unabated to the rim.
Can't cut off everything. Perkins can get his shot off the dribble. Williams-Goss and Melson.
Melson the steal on defense now.
BYU's got to get a stop, or Gonzaga will run it out quickly. Nice patience, good spacing.
Collins spinning baseline. Yoli Childs called for the foul. And we talked about, Adrian, the balanced scoring of BYU. They already have 7 players tonight who have scored at least 2 points.
Yeah, you look at the shot attempts. You look at Williams, already has 5 shot attempts. Collins has a shot. Everyone touches the ball, and they don't take bad shots. That's how you can get a high frequency, high efficiency of good offense.
Jonathan Williams leading the way with 7. Karnowski not far behind with 6. Under 9.5 minutes to play here in the first half as Williams-Goss had his shot swatted, and now a foul on the loose ball against Zach Collins as he went over the top for the rebound.
If you get a foul, that's the kind of foul you want from a big guy. It's not a cheap foul. Williams-Goss going in. Good job by Kafusi blocking that shot, but Collins being 7 foot and a leaper, I'll take that one. If you're going to pick up fouls, don't get a cheap foul.
Mika at the elbow. That's back-to-back mid-range jumpers for Eric Mika.
Settling in, flowing now. You're seeing him, he got to the free throw line, scored from the low block, and then he can step out to the 15-footer. It's interesting, he doesn't shoot 3-pointers, but he's a load, 17 feet and in.
Both Mika and Karnowski are top 10 finalists for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Award for the top center in the nation.
And then Jock Landale from St. Mary's, so you have 3 bigs in this conference that are finalists.
Karnowski fading away on the baseline. Eric Mika has the last 5 points for BYU. They go right back to him, same spot. This time missing the jumper. Loose ball picked up by Kafusi.
See if that's what Coach said. Coach Few said, you know what? They'll take a 3 anytime in the shot clock, anywhere on the floor. You just saw it on that play.
DJ Haas getting his first field goal of the night, and then mixing it up down low with the 7-footer Karnowski. Haas called for the foul. As we send it to break, Gonzaga on top, 25-16 here at home. On the road, and Adrian, BYU has quite enjoyed their last 2 trips here to the Kettle.
Well, it's a high possession team. They get a lot of possessions, and they're not intimidated because they play the same style. They'll get out and run, they'll shoot 3-pointers, and then when you're able to come in and win when the teams in the WCC usually don't, you got to keep your eye on them.
BYU knocking off number 3 Gonzaga 2 years ago, and then last year here in Spokane, BYU knocking off number 25 Gonzaga, and Cougar fans hoping that their team can spoil the undefeated season for Gonzaga.
Right there, 4-66. Come on, man. That is impressive with what Coach Rose is doing with this team. They're still attached to this game right here. He said, I want to hang around, withstand the emotional charge, and they're in a good position to keep it under 10 points.
They've started to get it inside to Eric Mika consistently. Gotten them back into this game as Karnowski at the free throw line. Again, we've talked about it. The bench issues are the problem for BYU. They've only averaged 6 points off the bench in their last 4 games, and so they rely very heavily on Mika, Haas, Emery, Childs to have good games every game.
Yeah, and their co-captains. Remember, Kyle Davis out for the season with the knee. LJ Rose, who might be able to come back later on in the season, is out as well.
10-point lead for Gonzaga as Silas Melson takes out a poor cheerleader here right in front of the booth.
As a former player, that's the one spot you don't mind running into, the cheerleaders. You don't want to run into the benches, but the cheerleaders, that's okay.
As long as he's not taking us out, I'm okay with it.
Nice crossover.
Hawes, second three-pointer of the game.
Has a little Rip Hamilton, a little Reggie Miller with that thin frame, but moves well without the ball and also creative.
Gonzaga led by as many as 16 points. It's now down to 7.
Yeah. When you look at a Gonzaga team that wallops its opponents by 24, BYU is hanging around.
Emery diving for the loose ball and another turnover on the Zags.
Keep an eye on Hawes again. Call his number. Why not? Why not?
Another three-pointer for Hawes. And all of a sudden, it's a 14-3 run for the Cougars.
Well, they match up well. They can score in a hurry, and you just saw that on the last 2 or 3 possessions. Good up and under.
Karnowski hammered from behind. And Hawes, who is just under a 40% three-point shooter on the season, Adrian, has gotten loose here in the last couple minutes.
Dave Rose, who was up 5-slammer-jammer back in the 80s when I played, lets his guys go. They'll take shots just like that and not look over their shoulder to see if they're going to get pulled. They're a tough out. And remember, they're only freshmen and sophomores. So, again, that's why I say they're playing with house money, throwing caution to the wind.
Sophomore Elijah Bryant and freshman Yoli Childs check back in for BYU. Hawes has 9 points in the last 2 minutes of play.
At shoot-around, Coach Rose had a little wink. He said, I want to see what they got. We want to keep this thing close and see what they're made of. Close.
Gonzaga has not trailed in the second half of a game in 15 games, so they are not accustomed to playing from behind, as Nigel Williams-Goss would like to keep it that way.
There's that man again against BYU. Remember, he had 33 points. Every key basket to stop a run, he was able to make a play on the road.
Emery threw it away. And that's what will stop runs very quickly, turnovers.
But if I'm BYU, I have a deep bench. All the pressure is on Gonzaga to go undefeated. I like what I see with BYU. They're knocking down shots, they're playing loose, and they're not making a lot of turnovers, beating themselves.
Each team with 5 turnovers so far, 6 minutes to play here in the opening half.
Yeah, Eric Mika's on the floor too. That's a cheap foul right there from Hawes.
Hawes fouling the jump shooter, Jordan Matthews. He'll go to the line.
As long as I have my star player, Eric Mika, who's still on the floor, not in foul trouble, he's getting into the game, getting good shots. That's a good sign for them going into the second half if they can keep it close like this.
Well, Mika has 0 fouls, but the issue now for BYU is Hawes has 2. And Hawes is going to have to take a seat on the bench as Stephen Bayo checks into the game for the Cougars.
Yeah, he got himself in trouble on a cheap foul. But that won't deter him when he gets back in because he has a next play mentality. He'll still look for his shots.
Matthews, 75% free throw shooter, hits that one. Makes it a 7-point advantage for the Zags.
Nice drive. That's him at his best.
Muscling it up against Karnowski.
That's Bryant at his best. He needs to do that often and frequently because once he gets his shoulders past his opponent, he's trouble.
BYU has made their last 7 field goal attempts. It's now a 5-point game in favor of Gonzaga, and Williams is fouled. Yoli Childs picks up the personal.
Elijah Bryant, 6'5", 215, 20 pounds, solid. He drives to the basket, and he's a combination guard forward. He went for 37 points. He can score quickly. Emery this season, remember he had 17 points, had 26 points, 17 points in 7 minutes. This is a high-octane offense.
And it's a team coming off a game on Thursday at Portland where they scored 97 points. So even with that short bench, they got up to almost 100.
Well, the three-point shot is the great equalizer. And then Coach Rose, highly successful, very successful at BYU, playing with freshmen and sophomores, has instilled confidence in his guys.
Williams missed it both. Gonzaga just 3 for 12 from the free throw line. Giving away points here early. As you see BYU not much better, just 2 for 6.
How refreshing is it for Nick Emery? The last time these two teams played, He was coming off of the flu, his knee and shoulder, and his streak of 32 three-pointers was broken on that game.
Eric Mika makes it 8 straight field goals for the Cougars. It's now a 3-point advantage for Gonzaga.
Good ball movement, but the reaction of BYU sitting down defensively without fouling.
Karnowski lowering the shoulder and it traveled.
Make your call. It could have been a charge or travel. Take your pick.
Turnover on the Zags, and now Adrian, BYU a chance to tie this game under 5 minutes to play in the half.
One-on-one, Eric Mika. He's quicker. Now, you can call. Which one are you going to call? Since he's a senior, we'll call travel. And Shem, you can't hide. You're 7'1", 300 pounds with the beard.
Well, he's going to the bench now, so Collins back in there for Gonzaga. And the three-point shooting team, BYU, could tie it with a triple.
That's a good angle. Mika likes to go in the middle. Let's see if Collins knows the scouting report. Try to keep him out the middle when he's on the block.
Ten on the shot clock. Bryant off the mark. Mika swats it to Emery. Offensive rebound for BYU.
BYU having the flow and the patience. Everyone touching the basketball. They'll rise up and shoot a three-pointer. But they're managing the expectation and the defensive tenacity of Gonzaga.
10 on the shot clock. Emery from way downtown. Shaw picks it up. Didn't touch anything. And Shaw makes it a 1-point game. Williams-Goss always has the answer, as you say, Adrian.
For every rose, there's a thorn. And there's the thorn in Williams-Goss. He has been their thorn, making key shots and stops for him. Good move. Great move.
BYU not going away. Eric Mika has 10.
They're going to have to earn this historic 18-0 the way BYU is playing. We're in for a classic.
Eric Mika silencing the crowd. Gonzaga, 16-point lead down to 1. Mika's got 10, and the Zags in trouble at home.
We got a good one out there.
29-0. Gonzaga on top by 1, and Eric Mika has helped evaporate that Gonzaga lead.
He's a star, and you can't hide his talent. He settled in right after the first 16-minute timeout. This is bread and butter move. The nice touch, the elevation. Wow, solid. And then you need your best players playing against the best teams in the best venues. He's answered the bell. They respond well off of him. This is a good matchup with Collins. But then getting inside, I love that stop up and under. He either shoots the jump hook, the 15-footer, or gets to the free throw line.
10 points, 5 rebounds on 4 of 7 shooting for the sophomore Eric Mika. And Adrian, Gonzaga got off to a 16-point lead early in this one. What's changed here?
Offense. They always have a puncher's chance. Remember, they average over 80 points a game. Coach Rose, extremely successful. He is one of the senior statesmen in the WCC, and he instills confidence in these guys.
Matthews up with the left hand, a tough shot for Jordan Matthews.
This is one of those games where you move the furniture back and let the kids play. Both guys, both teams going at it. Well-coached teams, competitive. We'll talk about all the success or lack of success after, but right now, both teams are dialed in. Good ball move. See that right there? That was a good executed play. Missed pass.
Extra touch from Shaw to Mika was just out of reach. A turnover on BYU. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you in Spokane, Washington. We're the #1 team in the nation, trying to finish off a perfect regular season.
Then Eric, remember the first game, BYU, really that's a turnover by Matthews. BYU played a poor first half, and they cut it. Remember they were down by 19. They cut it to 6 at 76-70 and couldn't get over the hill. Now in the first half, it's been a fair fight. They're attached to this game.
It's actually a foul on Stephen Bayo. So with Gonzaga in the bonus, Matthews to the free throw line. And BYU, we mentioned their bench, Adrian, and really the only thing that would keep them out of performing at their highest level is the foul trouble. And we already see Hawes on the bench, but Childs, Hawes, and Kafusi, all three with 2 fouls.
Right, so that's good. You can still get out of this half. It looks like if nobody gets in foul trouble, you still have those 3 that you just mentioned that can play in the second half. There you go again.
Mika double team, Matthews the strip.
Well, it's too much air on that one from Shaw. You got to make it a quicker pass so the help side defense and Matthews can't get to it and break that play up.
2 turnovers in a row on the Cougars. Nearing the 2-minute mark here in the opening half. Here's Perkins for 3. Mika climbing the ladder for the rebound.
There's a lot of pro scouts in here. BYU fans don't want to hear him leaving, but he's a distinctive talent. Nice drive.
Emery with the left. Shaw the offensive rebound, and he dribbled it off of his knee. 3 straight turnovers on Braden Shaw.
And watch the help side defense helping the helper. It's too much air, so you're seeing Matthews right there being able to get there and deflect that pass. It's a good idea. I think they'll get some mileage in that in the second half because you're still probing to see what works. And also, Hawes will be able to play, Kafusi. So they're sitting pretty. This is a Gonzaga team that runs you out quickly, averaging 24 points in conference play with the scoring margin.
Perkins, the 3-second violation before the drive for a turnover on Gonzaga.
Now, both teams have another gear. It's a minute and 34 left. Both teams have another gear in the second half. I think we're going to see an instant classic because Gonzaga is going to want to protect that undefeated season, and BYU will throw all caution to the wind.
Mika doubled again, and one for Eric Mika as he has some words for the Zag student section.
And he should. He should with that enthusiasm. Basketball is a game of enthusiasm. He gets the ball in scoring position, 2 feet in the paint right there, and then the blow by. He's going by Zach Collins, who's just as quick and at 7 feet, and then he's got words for you. How you like me now? Can you hear me now?
Mika has made 5 of his last 6 field goals, and he's got 12 points, 6 rebounds. He averages 20 and 10 on the season.
You know, that little conversation he had, I can't deny it. I talked a lot of smack. I think you become a broadcaster. Well, I love the conversation. Good matchup.
Williams backing in on Childs, and now it's Williams with a chance for a 3-point play.
And I think that's Yoli's 3rd personal foul. That's a big one. Too slow on the help. Now that's where he likes to go over that right shoulder inside the middle. A little knick-knack foul right there. That's a cheap one. So Yoli Childs going to have to sit down.
So Childs, who missed Thursday's game with that ankle injury, will take a seat with his 3rd foul. Did not start tonight. Braden Shaw got the start instead. And so now Davin Gwynn comes back in, as well as Peyton Dastrup for BYU, and Williams at the free throw line.
We talk about Yoli Childs. He has a high ceiling. In fact, all their top 5 players, we're talking about them returning, have had big games this season. Yoli Childs had a huge game, 24 points, I think 17 rebounds. Coach Few has said anybody on their team can go off. Bryant, the last game, 37 points. So he truly respects what BYU brings to the table.
The Zags have done a good job of weathering the storm that BYU was throwing at them. And BYU not helping out their cause with a few turnovers here in the last couple of minutes. As we near the 1-minute mark in the first half, as the Zags 21 minutes away from an undefeated season.
Keep an eye on Bryant. He likes to get into the middle when he goes right-hand dominant on a high screen and roll. And also know who can hurt you where Mika is. Stay attached to him.
Bryant pulls up for 3 and he drains it.
The 3-pointer or the drive. Tough combination.
Williams Goss and 1. The response from Nigel Williams Goss.
Watch that. Usually he goes inside the lane, but now he's shooting a 3-pointer with confidence. Hard to guard. And then there's going to be one player that Coach Dave Rose will not like this season, and it's Nigel Williams Goss because he always comes up with timely baskets.
Converts the 3-point play, and it's 41-35 Zags as Williams Goss now with 9 points on 4 of 7 shooting. Under 30 seconds to play now in the half. As Bryant patiently waits at midcourt, and the fans are on their feet here at the Kennel.
Watch the same play again with Bryant coming off the high screen and roll.
9 on the shot clock. Bryant had it stripped. Perkins on the floor. He was the last to touch it. It will stay with BYU with 3 on the shot clock.
That's a coach's dream. A play like Perkins with the ball deflection. Now they get a chance to set their defense again. You got 2 shooters coming in. You got Hawes coming in that can shoot the three-pointer, and Emery. Make sure you don't foul a shooter.
3 on the shot clock, just under 11 on the game clock.
It's good strategy, coaching strategy.
Zags have led the entire half. Hawes is back in there with those 2 fouls to inbound for BYU. Hawes with 1 on the shot clock, airmails the 3, and it's a shot clock violation.
BYU has done its job by weathering the storm. They're going to go into this half within this game with under 10-point deficit. And right now, both of them, it's going to be a high-scoring game because they're on pace, on par, to score over 80 points in this game.
Now the refs are going to take a look at the game clock to determine when the shot clock violation occurred. I believe with the time that was left at the inbound, it should be about 7.5, 8 seconds remaining.
Yeah, because it never hit the rim.
Right.
Now, you got 6 seconds. Usually it's 1 dribble per second, so you have more than enough time to get a speed dribble up and get into the three-point shot.
Zags so far in this one led by Jonathan Williams with 10 points, not far behind Williams Goss with 9. And Williams Goss has it. Final 5 seconds of the half. Perkins for 3. Ball batted up, and that will end the first half with Gonzaga on top at home. 41-35. That shot not counting. The Zags a 6-point lead at the break. And we'll send it to the studio with Andy and Dalen for the Alfa Romeo halftime report. Guys? The #1 team in the country, Gonzaga, in a tight one at home against BYU. 41-35 at the half as we welcome you back inside the McCarthy Athletic Center. And alongside Adrian Branch, I'm Eric Rothman, and got out to a 16-point lead early for Gonzaga. Adrian, we thought it might be a blowout. BYU settled in, came back. It's a makeable game now for the Cougs. We've seen a lot of good low post play for Gonzaga. Jonathan Williams really leading the way.
Yeah, he's usually the 3rd and 4th option on this team, but he's answered the bell on senior night. This was an emotionally charged atmosphere. That was the first basket to get him going inside the paint. And then the follow-up, the offensive rebound. He shoots over 60% in conference play. And then this is one of my favorites right here for a 3-point play opportunity. He's been sharp, but then the star power for Eric Mika settled in. He started scoring with the 15-footer, mixing up his offense. You'll see him on the low block, good angle, catching the ball, and then getting inside the middle as well. The up and under has been outstanding, already in double figures. He's been hard to guard. Coming down the second half, look for both teams to try to do the same thing, get high possession shots.
Both teams shooting well. BYU 5 for 10 from 3-point. Not necessarily a team that relies on the 3, but they have the gunners to do it. Hawes had 3 3-pointers in that first half.
Well, what's not on there is the free throw attempt too. Both teams have left a lot of meat on the bones when it gets to the free throws. You look at the home team, Gonzaga, they're only 7 for 16 at the free throw line. They've got to sharpen that up.
It'll be BYU basketball to start the second half. As Hawes in there with his 2 fouls, so is Yoli Childs with his 3. BYU immediately turns it over. Williams Goss missing the lay-in. Williams, the putback, can't finish. And a missed opportunity for Gonzaga.
Like you said, they mentioned he can hit that shot.
Emery still searching for his first field goal of the game, 0 for 6 on the night, and a foul on the floor.
You just mentioned Yoli Child starting in this game now in the second half. He's a double-double. He'll get after the ball a lot like Jonathan Williams. You don't have to run an offense for him, but he always has to have a body on him.
Hawes has the mismatch against Karnowski and gets rid of it. Back to Hawes, baseline, and Williams-Goss there for the steal.
Excellent anticipation by Williams-Goss.
And Nigel Williams-Goss in double figures now with 11.
He is making the same timely plays at home as he did at the Marriott Center. Every time there was a run, he was able to make a key stop or a key play.
Here's Yoli Childs, the freshman, and he was really taken away in that first half due to foul trouble getting his first basket of the night.
Well, just for Yoli to be out there with an ankle injury, he hurt that one against St. Mary's. Just to have his presence out there help balance everything out for BYU.
Williams stretching his range, missing the three.
Now, if you miss a shot, BYU attacks you the same way Gonzaga does.
Bryant, who had 39 points with 7 three-pointers on Thursday, missing that one there. Good feed from Williams-Goss, even better hands by Emery to get in the passing lane. Ball will stay with the Zags. BYU trailing by 6, can't afford to turn the ball over. They've turned it over 6 times in their last 11 possessions, giving the Zags extra chances. And now it's the Zags who turn it over, a 5-second violation on the inbound.
If you're a BYU fan, you're smiling because they've weathered the storm of the emotional charge on senior day. Gonzaga got off to a fast start, and they were able to come back. And now the key players, Hawes is out there. Don't tell me he's going to launch it right there.
Was thinking about it from 30 feet. Now the step back for 3, and Hawes has his 4th triple of the game. Goss stripped, got it back, and finishes.
Nigel Williams-Goss has a one-track mind to always be attacking. That's why they have led in 15 quarters, especially in the second half.
Williams knocks it up to himself for his 7th rebound of the game. Perkins quickly the other way, brings the fans to their feet with that three-pointer. Mika bodied. He will go to the line as Karnowski picks up his 2nd personal.
Once you score on a three-pointer, that was a thing of beauty. Not touching the floor, Perkins knocking down the shot. Now, you can't get into a home run trot because that's his guy, and then he gets beat on that play. You've got to quickly get back and get to the guard the three-point line, or you'll get Mika at the free throw line.
Mika now for his 7th free throw attempt upcoming. He leads the nation in free throw attempts, 2nd in free throws made. But he is not afraid to bump bodies down low, as he now has 14 points and 6 rebounds.
And as we're taught, repeat your best stuff. Let's repeat our best stuff. BYU is out here playing with freshmen and sophomores. Everyone is due to come back, and no one has to go on an LDS mission next year.
Williams, the baby hook, gets a sweet roll, and Williams has been clutch tonight.
The last 5 or 6 games, he has totally lost himself in competition. You just saw him with a right-handed shot.
And now Mika again to the free throw line, and Karnowski, who started off hot with 7 points in the first 5 minutes of the game, has gone scoreless since then and now picks up his 3rd foul.
Good players are going to make good plays against each other. Mika has great footwork. Took a shot inside. You know, big guys make contact.
As Mika the spin move and got it right in the beard.
Oh, yeah.
Do that to the beard. So now, because it's an elbow above the shoulders, referees are going to take a look at it.
Yeah, it's only a quick look, but that was a good, clean play. This has been a well-coached game, a competitive game. The big guy's just going up. He's not throwing the elbows. I played with and against guys that would throw the elbows. Sidney Green, UNLV star back in the 80s. He'd get a rebound, and he'd chin it right there and dare you to run up by those elbows.
Speaking of UNLV, Gonzaga hoping to join the 1990-1991 UNLV team is an undefeated regular season team. The Zags 29-0 so far, looking for a perfect 30-0 before heading to the West Coast Conference Tournament as the #1 seed, as it's just a common foul on Karnowski, nothing on the elbows by Mika. But BYU is playing for something too, Adrian. Right now, if they win tonight, they will lock in the #3 seed in the West Coast Conference Tournament. If they were to lose and Santa Clara were to win tonight, then BYU would drop to the 4 slot.
Yeah, and when you go to the conference tournament, you're still going to have to go through BYU to win this. You're going to have to go through St. Mary's for those teams to knock out Gonzaga if Gonzaga plays to the best of their ability.
Mika continuing his production from the free throw line. BYU has gotten almost 90% of their production from 3 guys, Bryant, Mika, and Hawes, 10, 15, and 12 respectively, and now make it 16 for Mika.
Yeah, Nick Emery has not scored yet in this game, but he's playing a good floor game, and just to have him back out here, remember he was coming off the flu the last time he played him. Jump hook, that's his move.
Had a look at it, and Hawes the rebound.
Mika did a nice job of pushing Collins to step out of his comfort zone with the jump hook.
Emery tracks down the pass in the corner, still searching for his first field goal. Second attempt for the Cougars on this possession, and Hawes misses the 3. Pick and roll. Perkins to Williams. Back out to Perkins for 3. Collins on the offensive glass, missed the bunny. Now Matthews fires a 3. A lot of opportunities for the Zags on that trip.
Solid job by BYU contesting the shot without fouling.
Giles trying to track down the pass from Emery, and it's a turnover on BYU.
Those are 2 careless turnovers before the 4-minute break in the second half. You can't give away those possessions.
12th turnover of the game on BYU. As Emery will take a seat, still without a point in this one.
Got scoring in 5 positions for Gonzaga, and usually the offense will get the best look.
Matthews, the head fake, beats Mika for the mid-range jumper.
Well, you had to respect the 3-point shooter. He was patient showing the ball and stepping in off of 1 dribble. You practice that move every day.
Matthews double figures now with 10. Mika answers on the other end. He's got 18.
How good is this young man to be that effective without being a 3-point shooter? As he develops and gets older, he'll stretch that out to the 3-point line. But he has a sweet touch, 15 feet and in.
Perkins, nobody home, the ball out of bounds. Gonzaga not happy that the ball will go to BYU, but it will after the break.
The shot fake against the shot blocker, first in conference, knocking it down. But then Mika with the answer against Collins. That's a big-time matchup. Good game going on in the kennel.
Will Cinderella live for one more night? This is it.
8 seconds to go.
At the buzzer.
He's got it!
Oh my goodness!
These guys won't give up.
Champ Week starting on Wednesday, and we cannot wait for the madness of March as the West Coast Conference Tournament, if it were to start today, you see the top 6 getting the first round bye. Gonzaga already slotted as the #1 seed, but BYU could fall to the 4 if they were to lose tonight and Santa Clara were to win.
It would look like just switching. But again, the way they're playing, they have shown themselves extremely well. You want to go into the end of the season conference play, tournament time with no slippage, everything clicking.
Gonzaga up by 6. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you with just over 15 minutes to play in regulation. As Hawes, the give and go from Mika, misses baseline. Williams-Goss up against the double, draws the foul. And this one is going to go against Yoli Childs.
Williams-Goss has a natural sense for what his team needs. We talked about this earlier in the season, right in early January, that I thought he and Frank Mason were two of the best decision makers in all of college basketball. He's mastered the win.
Now Nigel Williams-Goss at the free throw line. I didn't want to jinx him, but he's made 36 straight free throws now. I gave him the courtesy of waiting for a second.
You were real quiet on that one.
I contemplated trying to get that stat out before he released the ball. Williams-Goss now at 15, Adrian.
Better matchup with Jonathan Williams on Mika. He's got the quickness and the strength to hold his position and contest his shot.
6 on the shot clock. Mika floats it inside. Yoli Childs rejected by Williams.
Only an agile 7-footer like Collins could contest that shot because Childs, close to the basket, usually scores.
Williams-Goss threw it away.
Nice change of pace. Nice change of pace.
Oz got double teamed. Couldn't see his intended receiver. Another turnover on BYU as Perkins marches down and hits the floater.
There were 3 costly turnovers so far in this game. You just saw another one where you didn't get a shot attempt and your opponent did. That's the value of being efficient. You can't give away possessions.
Back out to a double-digit lead for Gonzaga as a foul down low on Jonathan Williams. Second personal on Williams.
Now, Emory's been sitting for a while. Let's see if he settles down and can get himself a shot. Hadn't been to the free throw line as well. He's got a strong body. He can score in traffic as well as hit a three-pointer.
Mika traveled.
Good call.
Notice there was nobody in front of him on that inbound. Decided to drive it and was delayed putting the ball on the ground. 14th turnover on BYU. On the shot clock now for the Zags. The big man Childs coming out to guard Williams-Goss. Williams on the offensive glass, misses the left hand. Collins, the third effort is there.
You may ask the question, is BYU losing steam on those last possessions where they've had a turnover and now an offensive putback? They've got to get a score right here to keep attached to this game.
Mika using that pivot to perfection. And now Mika has 20 points. BYU trailing Gonzaga by 10. 13 minutes and change to go here in Spokane. It's a 10-point second half lead for Gonzaga in their final game of the regular season. And let's go ahead and take a look at Bracket Buzz, brought to you by Cheez-It. This is Joe Lenardi's top seeds as of right now. He's got Kansas, Villanova, North Carolina, and Gonzaga, the top 4 seeds in the bracket. And Adrian Branch, you got any problems with that?
Not at all. This is over the body of work, consistent for the length of the season. Villanova, the reigning national champions, have come back trying to make an encore performance. I like what I see. And also North Carolina was in the Final Four and lost on a heartbreaking shot. So both of them have responded well in the second season.
29-game win streak for Coach Few, looking to take his team to the Final Four for the first time in his career. Before that, they want to finish off a perfect regular season, looking for 30-0. Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you. Under 13 minutes left in the second half as Nigel Williams-Goss called for the travel.
Good call. This is a huge stop. You want to get a stop, and then you want to keep this under 10 points because this is a 3-point shooting team. So right now, it's a 10-point differential. That's only 4 makes when you're shooting 3-pointers.
Emery falls on the curl, somehow able to get it right back to Bryant. Good awareness by Emery.
Let's see Bryant call his own number as well.
Childs, good touch.
High-low. Childs did that for Mika on the last possession, and Mika returned the favor with the high-low, big-to-big passing.
Williams got caught baseline and he threw it away. Back-to-back turnovers on Gonzaga. And now Mark Few has been teed up. A technical foul on Coach Few.
Pretty balanced emotionally on that one.
Unhappy that on the Williams drive that there was no whistle called against BYU, and he was steaming.
Yeah, he wanted something on the call on that one. Pretty balanced. You don't usually see him getting technical fouls.
And Emery missing the first free throw. Just not Emery's night. 0 for 7 from the floor. And now missing his first technical free throw. And that's his first point of the game and makes it a 7-point lead for the Zags.
For Emery to get that now, and he saw the ball go through the basket, I'd run a play to see if he can come off for a three-point shot or try to get something inside the middle. Now you've got scoring in 4 positions from BYU. Bryant can score, Mika, and Emery.
Emery tried to force it, keeps it alive. Mika calling for it, goes over both Collins and Williams.
Responding well.
5-0 run for BYU.
They're letting them play. It's getting physical for BYU as well. Active hands, touching, cutters, bumping them.
10 on the shot clock for Perkins. Crosses over Bryant, and he got fouled.
The good hands winning the 50-50 battle, and Childs throwing it to his tag teammate in Mika. Good hands by Mika. And then he's giving a look to the crowd. They can hear the conversation going back and forth.
Break in the action. Gonzaga holding on to a 5-point lead nearing the midway point of the second half. Number 1 in the nation, up 58-53. BYU just not going away here in the second half. And folks, big Monday, we got a doubleheader that starts with number 8 North Carolina squaring off against number 18 Virginia. That game at 7 Eastern. Then it's up to Oklahoma and number 3 Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. The Jayhawks have won or shared the Big 12 regular season title an amazing 13 straight years. Big Monday presented by eBay on ESPN. Also streaming live on the ESPN app and watch ESPN. It's a 7-0 run right now for BYU, Adrian, as Perkins at the line. But credit the Cougars not going away here.
Yeah, Eric Mika has showed up. He has 22 points in 27 minutes and shooting an outstanding 8 for 11 from the field. But the interesting thing, I'm surprised BYU doesn't have a fast break point. It's 14-0 in the home team's favor. However, what's kept them in it as well, they have 16 points off of 12 Gonzaga turnovers.
Perkins able to hit both. 7-point advantage for the Zags.
This is BYU's best lineup, most efficient lineup offensively.
Oh, it's missing from the elbow. Zags want to push it. Nelson in the corner. And Mika reels in the rebound. Oh, it's good head fake. Now Emery top of the key. His first field goal of the game.
He's too good of a player. He plays too hard not to reward that effort. He took his time, shoulders were squared, feet underneath him, and now all of a sudden we have a 4-point game.
10-2 run for BYU.
This is where Williams-Goss hurt them in the first game. He'd post up or he'd shoot a shot. He thought he got fouled on that one, but he's got to play the next play.
Williams-Goss still talking to the refereeing crew as he trots backwards. Emery, back-to-back threes, and it's a 1-point game.
Emery, Hawes, Bryant, they all have the green light to lock and load, especially at the three-point line. There's some teams that just match up well against you. BYU, because they play a high possession. Watch this ball fake, and then Emery, that's his first one, seeing it go through, and then knocked it down.
And now a whistle on the inbound will go against TJ Haws.
It could have been called, it looked like it could have been called for a 4-point play, but Emory has a short conscience. He's on to the next play. Hawes is on to the next play. But then I'm going to say it again, they're all freshmen and sophomores.
Well, Hawes' next play was a foul, and that's his third foul as Yoli Childs takes a seat. Corbin Kafusi back in. Williams-Goss off the screen. Kept alive by Karnowski. Collins rejected and met by Mika. BYU a chance to take the lead. Knocked out of bounds, will stay with the Cougars.
Let's have a summit meeting. High rise on high rise. 7-footer and 6'10". That's a good block, folks. That's a good block. A summit meeting. 2 hands letting them play. You're going to have to earn 18 in a row undefeated season on BYU. This will be the first time, if they hit it here, that Gonzaga's trailed in the second half.
Williams-Goss after the miss by Hawes. Kick out, Perkins for 3. Rattles out. Another opportunity for the Cougars to take the lead.
How about the resilient effort of BYU coming out in and answering every charge of Gonzaga that's truly dialed in.
Under 9.5 minutes to play in the second half. Mika sidesteps, pulls up, won't fall, and rebounded by Perkins.
Even to have a lead psychologically would help BYU, rewarding that, getting over top of the mountain. They're still playing catch up.
Collins up with the left, and he is fouled by Kafusi. You mentioned the stat a minute ago, Adrian, but Gonzaga has not trailed in the second half in 15 games. So an opportunity now for BYU to change that stat in a crucial time. Collins at the line looking to extend what has slumped to a 1-point lead for Gonzaga.
But Dave Rose said, I want to keep it close, and I want to see what Gonzaga has coming down the home stretch, because they've been blowing teams out. Usually they're already up 15 or 20 points. But again, let's go back. BYU did not have a good half the first time they played at home. So they were circling the calendar for this one as well as Gonzaga.
Collins missed them both. Zags just 11 for 22 from the free throw line.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Both teams have left a lot, but for Gonzaga on the second half, they've left a lot of free throw opportunities, and now the crowd is really trying to cheer their favorite team on. Watch Bryant on a high screen and roll.
3 on the shot clock. Mika has to get rid of it. And BYU takes their first lead of the game.
Psychologically, that helps BYU. How's Gonzaga going to respond now? They're in a game with a team that's not backing down from the challenge.
Karnowski missing the leader. Offensive rebound and a slam by Collins. And a foul as Hawes was trailing to the corner. It's on Silas Nelson.
Good call. Got underneath him. Now for Collins, doing what you're supposed to do as a big guy. Coming in for the missed shot and then making a statement. You block one shot, but block that dunk. Good players are making good plays. It's just that simple. Collins, excellent player. Hawes with the basketball.
Collins will take a seat. Williams back in. Hawes, good crossover. Double pump and the finish at the rim for TJ Hawes, who now has 14.
Where's the scoring going to come under pressure now? This is the intensity of an NCAA game.
Karnowski fighting for position and ripped down by Mika. And Karnowski not happy about it.
BYU with the lead. And then the man mountain turning inside, but with a hard foul. Stay tuned. That could be intentional.
Carolina, Saturday at 8:15 on ESPN.
BYU has climbed back from 16 down to take a 1-point lead under 8 minutes to play in regulation. And the foul before the break on Eric Mika as he pulled down Shemek Karnowski. The referees reviewed it, and it's a flagrant foul on Mika.
Yeah, you have to call that one. He didn't make a play on the ball, and really he's too big to wrap up. So what are you going to do? And also, he's been banging on you as a 300-pounder. So that's one play where it looked like he got tired and frustrated.
Mika has done an excellent job defending Karnowski tonight. Karnowski has now gone 28 minutes without a point, and that's a big blow for Gonzaga, who relies on him on the inside to get their offense going.
Well, he's a nice free throw shooter, especially in money situations, so he should be able to knock down these free throws to get them this lead.
Flagrant foul is excessive contact. There's no place for that, okay?
Getting the explanation from referee Randy McCall, who says excessive contact, and there's no place for that on the foul, so that's why they call it a flagrant, and it will send Shemek Karnowski to the line. As you see his stats, 7 points in the first half. All those 7 came in the opening couple minutes of the game, and he has been quiet since then. Missing the first one short. Adrian, BYU is on a 13-4 run since the technical foul on Coach Few.
Emery's knocking down shots. Hall's knocking down shots. Yoli Childs, who didn't start in the first half, started in the second half. You just got a game where both teams are really giving their best shot, making plays, shooting three-pointers. Watch him turn into the middle. He likes to turn in the middle or the up and under.
And we have a foul underneath again on Mika. That's his second. The strategy quickly becomes get the ball to Karnowski and see if you can frustrate Mika.
Well, he's been doing that the entire game, just resting that right hand right on his hip the entire game. You're going to make contact with 300-pounder.
Nigel Williams-Goss off the mark for the three. Bryant the rebound.
Now, 7:23 left to go to make regular season history. Who's going to execute in the money?
BYU has won their last 2 trips to Spokane, looking to make it 3 in a row, and Mika will go to the free throw line. Foul on Williams, his third.
A skilled post player with 2 feet inside the paint. The red zone, the kill zone, is hard to guard when it's one-on-one coverage.
And the plan, Adrian, for Coach Rose has been start every possession with Mika. They have not deviated from the plan even when they were down 16, and it's coming up positive for them as Mika now with 24 points and now attempting his 11th free throw of the game.
Yeah, you see that little Cheshire smile. He wanted it. He wanted it right here to say, okay, I want to see what they have. I want to just put them in a position, and I'll take my chances again on senior day.
The lead back to BYU. Mika with 25.
I'm looking at the body language of Gonzaga. Do they still have another punch in them? Do they still have another run in them? This is senior day. This is for an undefeated season. Of course, the #1 seed is already secure in the NCAA tournament.
Good spin move by Karnowski. His first point in nearly 29 minutes.
Rolling off of Mika with the feel, going into that jump hook with a soft touch. Now,
should say the first field goal for Karnowski. He did have the free throw. Mika out of the reach by Emery.
Watch the good footwork, soft touch inside the paint. Let's see if they run the offense through him again. Because if they double team him, Shemek is an excellent passer. Going to him again. One-on-one coverage.
And a turnover on Gonzaga as Perkins stepped on the sideline.
Look at all 10 guys breathing hard, trying to play through fatigue, trying to play through tired. Now it's execution. Who's in shape mentally, physically, and emotionally?
Pick and roll. Childs pops out for the jumper. Mika fighting for the offensive rebound.
Got to call a timeout.
And it's a held ball. Possession arrow in favor of Gonzaga.
That was a solid job by Eric Mika to go up well above the rim with two hands. Watch this in traffic.
And so Mika going up, a held ball. Possession to Gonzaga. Under 6 minutes to play here in regulation. And that's a foul that Coach Rose does not want to see his freshman Yoli Childs make that far away from the basket.
Good job by Matthews beating him to the spot, lowering his shoulder. BYU has taken the best shot of Gonzaga. Gonzaga has taken the best shot of BYU, and that's why you're seeing it with such a close game coming down the home stretch.
Fourth foul on Childs as Matthews hits the front end of the 1-and-1. Both teams in the bonus. Matthews hits them both, and that's good for Gonzaga because they have been pretty terrible from the free throw line tonight, but two big ones there for Matthews.
Watch Hawes, you can't give him a lot of space. He'll rise up. Bryant is fresh off of 37 points a game, and then Eric Mika is a problem down low.
10 on the shot clock. Hawes in no rush, pulls up from way downtown. Emery tracks down the board. Bryant a second chance, rattles out.
Got the look they wanted. And now you've got to defend. BYU has to defend the same way. Perkins can get inside the paint for himself or teammate.
They try to feed Williams, and that's the fifth foul on Yoli Childs.
3 of those fouls were out of position. That was a cheap foul.
So Yoli fouls out with just 4 points. Not happy with the call, and reluctantly goes to the BYU bench. And now in the bonus, Williams in the free throw line.
It's actually a better matchup now. You've got big body and Kafusi going against Shemek Karnowski, and Mika and Williams going at it. So that's a good matchup.
Lips out. Mika the rebound, and Mika now with a double-double, 25 and 10.
They're shrinking up the possessions when BYU is taking their time and not getting a shot up in the first 5 seconds.
Hawes, the floater. Ball loose, picked up by Mika. Hawes, straightaway 3, drains it. Tie ball game.
Did you recognize that deep knee bend to give an extra arc on the shot?
5th three-pointer of the night for Hawes. He has 17. Williams-Goss turning the corner, swatted by Kafusi.
Got numbers too if he looks at it.
Bryant elects to slow up and wait for Mika to trot down the court.
Got Eric Mika and Williams-Goss. They got to change that matchup. I wonder if they recognize that yet. Now Williams-Goss on Kafusi.
7 on the shot clock for Bryant. Leans in for a 3.
Not a good shot. That's a tough shot. Challenge shot.
Good head fake by Williams-Goss. Up with the right hand. And Williams-Goss breaks the deadlock.
BYU did not recognize the mismatch when Williams-Goss was caught on the big, and they didn't take advantage of it. Took a tough shot.
Emery a long 3. Offensive rebound by Bryant, and he's fouled.
There is no fear in the Cougars. They rise up anywhere on the shot clock, anywhere on the floor.
Well, nobody said it was going to be easy. BYU fighting with everything they got. Hawes, his 5th 3 of the night. Nigel Williams-Goss, the answer on the other end. And Gonzaga is up by 2. A snug one late here in Spokane with Gonzaga up by 2 against BYU. And now for tonight's play of the game, driven by Continental Tire.
I don't get tired of watching summit meetings. Collins going up for the slam dunk, but Mika says no. Two-hands dunk and a two-hand block for big boys only. That was a thing of beauty.
Mika has been excellent tonight, a double-double with 25 and 11. He'll have to shoulder even more of the load with Yoli Childs out of the game after picking up his 5th foul. Gonzaga led by as many as 16, and now we've had 4 different lead changes here in the second half.
Well, just to have Yoli back was a victory anyway, because the ankle injury could have been severe. So he got a taste of the big time out on the road. That'll help him in his career.
Bryant at the free throw line, and after we finish up here at the Kennel, watch SportsCenter at night with Lisa Kearney and Kevin Connors. They'll have everything from a busy night in college basketball, the NBA, NHL, spring training baseball, and NFL news, plus a report from Daytona on ESPN, the app, and watch ESPN. As Bryant ties it up at 69, Eric Rothman, Adrian Branch with you, nearing the 3-minute mark here in the second half.
This is a time where Williams hurts you on the missed shot. You've got to block him out. Mika has to block him out and stay attached to him. Good solid defense right now.
Matthews for 3, off the heel.
Pressure on Gonzaga right now. BYU has thrown caution to the wind. You can see that Hawes is confident. They're running down the shot clock because it's not a deep bench right now, and attacking them with 10 seconds left on the shot clock. Good job by Coach Rose.
8 on the shot clock. Feeds inside to Mika. 4 to shoot. Mika double teamed. Hawes has to let it go. And Karnowski the rebound.
Emery waiting for Williams-Goss in transition defense.
Williams-Goss has the ISO, turns around, and he's fouled by Emery. Got him on the elbow.
Yeah, and he'll hit you, he'll tap you, he'll swing down hard on the ball, but that's one where he was already in good position. Just go up and challenge that shot. Don't bail him out.
Williams-Goss now to the free throw line. He is best in the West Coast Conference, a 91% free throw shooter on the year.
This is one of those things where you grow up and say, let's have a staring contest. First one to blink loses. And this is what it's coming down to. First one to blink loses. It's all about the execution on both ends of the floor right now. I smell overtime myself. Selfishly, I want to see some overtime.
Williams-Goss hits them both. 2-point lead. Just over 2 minutes to play in regulation.
Watch Hawes at the 3-point shot.
Spins out of trouble and kicks it out to Bryant. Tells his team to slow down, calm down. Bryant backs his way in, and a tough shot up and under for Elijah Bryant.
You can see how he scored 37 because he can knock down the 3-point shot and also inside.
All knotted up at 71, under 2 minutes to play. These two teams throwing haymakers at each other.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we said. It's the last one to blink. Bryant mixing up his game, strong body, 6'5", coming off of 37 points, a career high, and mixing it up by going inside the paint. Now, if you're Gonzaga, you're looking, they usually have Williams-Goss on a high screen and roll. They can run an offense through Shimmick Karnowski that if he gets double teamed, he'll pass it out.
BYU has won their past 2 times traveling to Spokane as we take a flashback. 2 years ago, BYU knocking off number 3 Gonzaga on the road in a big game from Kyle Collinsworth. The Zags just didn't have enough. And then last year, as Gonzaga, the number 25 team in the nation, another close game and another win for BYU on the road. And the Cougars this year, Adrian, looking to knock off the number 1 seed, 29-0 Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Chasing history. This is chasing history. Look at that. It's just a matchup challenge for Gonzaga where BYU gets up. They've got as many shot attempts, 58. They have 3 more shot attempts than Gonzaga. But they've answered the bell with Eric Mika, 25 points and 11 rebounds.
The Kennel not giving up.
Chasing history, my friend, chasing history. Like you just mentioned a while ago, it's not going to be easy.
These two teams already meeting once before this season. In Provo, BYU, who had Emory in the lineup but was dealing with the flu, didn't start in that game. Had an off game offensively, similar to what we've seen tonight. Emory just 7 points on 2 of 10 shooting. But BYU has gotten help elsewhere as Mika, Oz, and Bryant have led the way.
But Emory's presence has belied more than the 7 points. Like those baskets he's hit, the free throw, the technical free throw, and then the 2 3-point shots have gotten them to tie it up. Now it's all about the execution defensively. Mika block out Williams. Emory keep Nigel Williams-Goss out the middle. And then you got super big on super big in Kafusi and Shimon Karnowski.
Williams spinning up with the left hand, short. Under a minute and a half to play in regulation. BYU a chance to reclaim the lead.
Coach Rose, who has one of the fastest tempos, has taken the air out the basketball. If you notice the last 3 minutes with Hawes having the ball, and they got scoring on the perimeter at every position.
Under 10 on the shot clock. Here's Mika one-on-one against Karnowski, and Mika gives BYU the 2-point advantage with 1 minute to play.
Made it look easy. Coach Few is letting them play. No timeout here. This is Williams-Goss with the high screen and roll.
Perkins lost it. Bryant the steal.
They're going to have to foul if they don't run the shot clock down.
First time Gonzaga has trailed in a second half all season long at home is tonight. And BYU content to run some clock. Under 30 seconds to play now.
And they've got Williams on Mika. That might have been one possession too late.
Pause the pull-up. Kafusi the rebound and the putback.
Got to go quick now. 19 seconds left. Got to go quick.
Perkins again loses it. Back-to-back turnovers on Perkins. And Mika is fouled.
Wow. The performance of BYU. Watch this key basket. That's a tough matchup right there. Williams was not on him. Karnowski, some kind of way, that was a mix-up. Shimmick shouldn't have been checking him. And then Kafusi, the football player, basketball player, one of my favorites, who goes from 300 pounds as a football player to 260 as a basketballer.
And now it's a 4-point lead, a chance for Mika to extend the advantage for the Cougars at the line. 12.5 seconds to go, and Adrian, we've talked about it, but Gonzaga has just not been in this position all season long.
No, and Coach Rose, give him credit. He's had success. He's been to 8 NCAA tournaments. He's finished in the top 3. Said, you know what? All I want with 5 minutes left to see what they have with them being behind at a deficit. Will they crack? Will they choke? Right now, he has a 4-point lead right now.
It was a 16-point lead early for Gonzaga in the first half. BYU cut it to single digits right before the halftime break. And the Cougars taking the lead and now on an 11-4 run, trying to close out this game and end Gonzaga's undefeated season.
Yeah, Josh Perkins with 2 costly turnovers right now. That was surprising because he's a sure-handed ball dribbler. Now, that timeout was about quick hitters.
Mika at the line. He's made 7 of 11 tonight. Big one there, and he gives a stare down to his bench.
Emotion. It's an emotional game. They put themselves in a position now to deter history for a while.
Mika hits them both. He's got 29. 12 seconds to play. Gonzaga down 6.
Don't want to foul.
Williams-Goss off the mark. Gwynn the rebound. 5 seconds to play. Emory is fouled. And celebrations by BYU as Emory will go to the line.
What a performance by BYU, weathering the storm. And you see that genuine enthusiasm by Eric Mika with 29 points and 11 rebounds.
Emery at the line. Gonzaga trailing with 4 seconds to go. Their undefeated season slipping away.
Historic season right now, regular season.
4 seconds to play. Perkins over the timeline. Emery steals it, and Goliath goes down. BYU wins it. An 8-point victory for BYU, their 3rd straight here in Spokane.
A magical night by BYU and a proud performance to negate a historic 18-0 start by Gonzaga.
A historic night for Gonzaga, thwarted by BYU. The Cougars win it 79-71 on the road. Gonzaga's undefeated season erased at the hands of BYU. For Adrian Branch, I'm Eric Rothman saying so long from Spokane. BYU pulls off the upset on the road as we send it to the studio for SportsCenter.